we're going to get into some NBA. And obviously, the big story, obviously, you got the NBA draft tomorrow, but what is going to happen with Kyrie Irving? And I have said, George, they're at an impasse, reportedly, right? That Kyrie wants a long-term deal, understandably. I mean, you knew, even though very few people would give him a full 5-year max deal, he wants it, and I would expect the player to want that. The Nets holding their ground right now, at least, on giving him a shorter-term deal. Maybe they want to even throw in some incentives. So that's where the impasse is. And there's all types of talk about the Lakers and the Knicks and the Clippers trying to get in here and snatch away Kyrie Irving. And I've always said this. I don't think Kyrie has a lot of leverage because the teams with cap room aren't very good. Detroit, San Antonio, Indiana, Orlando. I don't think they really be interested in Kyrie, and I don't think he's interested in them. The Knicks could clear space, but I think they'd be crazy to give him a full max deal, all guaranteed. So I don't think Kyrie has a ton of leverage. I also think the Nets need him and want him back. But that all changes if Kevin Durant, Kyrie's good friend, gets involved. And if he says, look, he goes to Sean Marks, the GM, goes to Joe Tsai, the owner, and says, look, I've been reading some things, and I'm not happy with what I'm reading. Get it done now.
Okay. All right,
and here's Woj on it, George, and then we'll get into it.
Two fronts. One is trying to stay disciplined in their mind on a Kyrie Irving extension. This is a player who has not been as available to them as they've wanted the last couple of years. Clearly, Brooklyn has been hesitant to do a long-term deal with Irving, but they also run the risk of alienating Kevin Durant and perhaps unfastening him from his commitment to wanting to be in Brooklyn if Kyrie Irving were to leave.
All right, George, the floor is yours.
All right, Chris, first thing is Woj right there. He said the Brooklyn Nets front office is trying to remain disciplined. That sounds like somebody who's wavering a little bit, that they're trying, they're going to try to do the right thing, but ultimately that they are going to fall victim to another piece of bad decision making, which has ended up them in the situation that they are now. Well,
they have not been able to hold their ground. You're right about that. They didn't let Kyrie play early in the vaccination process.
They blow like the wind, man.
And then, and then they let him come in. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
And on a worship Wednesday, we already know a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
There you go.
So
there you go.
So but I do disagree with the fact where you said that Kyrie has no leverage. Kyrie does have some leverage in this situation because he could always opt out. Okay. And say, I'll just go wherever I want to go.
Hold on. But hold on, here's the thing. There are only 4 teams with cap room.
Correct.
All right, and I just named them. San Antonio, Indiana, Detroit, and Orlando.
We are forgetting that you are 100% right about that, and none of those sound attractive, right?
Right. And I don't think any of them would be interested in Kyrie.
Correct. But this is Kyrie Irving, the man that gave up $17 million last year, right? So there is a world in Kyrie land because neither one of us lives in Kyrie land.
Thanks.
So there is a world where Kyrie Irving says, you know what? I will spite you. I will spite you for one season. That way, then I will show my availability for a year, and then I will sign a max contract in the offseason, and I'll take a mid-level exemption.
If he's willing to do that, then you're right. I mean, real talk. Yeah. If Kyrie Irving, who's already given up $17 million last year for not getting vaccinated, who's already lost his Nike deal, if he's willing to do all of that and then give up another $30 million, right? He's guaranteed $36 million next year if he wants
to get $200
if he's
on the back
willing to give up, hold up. If he's willing to give up $30 million because the team won't give him a long-term contract, like He's leaving Brooklyn where he's happy at home, where he's playing with one of his best friends, where they got a legitimate chance to win a championship. But he's going to leave there because they over money, but go somewhere to take $30 million less. Okay. And you're right. Kyrie World, maybe. But if he's willing to do that, then more power to him. And I've talked to some people that think he might be. That say he might be. But fine. Because what if Kyrie Irving, who has a history of injuries, gets hurt this year?
Listen,
you think he's getting that supermax then?
There will be, and yes, he does run the DeMarcus Cousins risk, right? He does run that risk of being a player who is about to capitalize on a max deal, and then injuries end up fumbling the bag for him. But now let's go back to the Brooklyn aspect of this, Chris, because Brooklyn has been for whatever reasons that you want to blame it on, since they have the decisions that led to Kyrie and Kevin Durant getting there, trading Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, right. That whole thing, that seemed like a good decision to go to get Kevin Durant and to get Kyrie.
Well, they traded those guys to get James Harden.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm saying that all of this has fit together. That then they go trade for James Harden. Some of those decisions looked like very sound decisions on paper. They look like, okay, we can get Kevin Durant, we can get Kyrie Irving. Now we can trade these two dudes and get Harden, right?
Let me ask you this, George. What blew it all up? It don't take a long explanation.
I know. It is the exact same thing.
You can give me one name. What blew it all up?
James Harden.
No, Kyrie.
No. Oh, God.
The reason James Harden bolted was because he was tired of Kyrie's shenanigans.
Do you know what it is, Chris? No.
When they decided to let Kyrie play, a few months ago, when they said, you know what, we're gonna let him play home games. Or road games, I'm sorry. James Harden was excited. He was a kid in a candy store because it was clear he thought Kyrie was going to take the vaccination. Remember, he even said, I'll give him the shot myself. And then once he realized after a few games, you know what? He's not budging. He's not taking it. That's when he said, I'm out. So it would have, the three of those guys would have been together still.
No,
if
Chris,
not for Kyrie's decision.
Chris, you have firmly underestimated the rules of life when it comes to this. The rules of life are the Brooklyn Nets. They did the same thing that my Lakers did. And except for the Lakers got a championship out of it, and then it's been total chaos since. Is that they engaged in a get-rich-quick scheme. That's what they did. Brooklyn tried to get rich quick.
So did Miami when they got LeBron, Wade, and Bosh.
Correct.
So did Golden State when they brought in Kevin Durant. So did the Lakers when they brought in Anthony Davis. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
I just said that the Lakers did it. But the thing about get rich quick schemes is they either totally fail or they work in the short term. They will work for a hot second, and then all of a sudden chaos and all of that stuff follows. That's exactly why Pat Riley hasn't done it again, because one player leaving can blow everything up. It messes up your culture. Get rich quick schemes don't work in life, and they don't work in sports.
All right, well, look, we're going to keep in on this because you never really got to the discussion, which was what if Kevin Durant is like, yo, I'm out if Kyrie's not signed long term.
That's probably going to happen.
Get to next. That's what I want you to talk about next. All this Lakers, all this mid-level exception. We're talking Kevin Durant next.